Morning, everyone. Morning. What's going on, Marshall, Revo, Sean, Walk? How you doing? Man, that IB was a little bit of a sweat yesterday. Little tiny bit. Didn't really catch much things on economic calendar today. Yeah, and we also have, I'm going to say it several times throughout the day today, Trump and his tariffs are supposed to be voted on at some point today. So probably going to be hands off like we were last Friday until we either get confirmation that that's out or it's not coming out. Remember last Friday it was supposed to come out at 10 a.m. Man, that was a beautiful IB yesterday. Not that great of execution on it. We'll review that here in a minute. Still very happy with how that IB developed. We ended up getting full TP all the way in the afternoon. I got out at 692.60, so just above where that previous wick was. And the reason being, I didn't want my trailing drawdown to get hit like it did during that wick. I should have just waited a little bit longer. I ended up hitting the full thing, sadly. But it was still QQQ. We could have taken the same thing again because it did have the IB by retracement, which is a like 50% stat. If it goes to 50, and that's after the IB breaks, I think it ended up going all the way up to like 90% of the IB. But this one was delicious. It's a weird term to use for it. It was a good trade. A good trade. So it was more so right there, and there we go. It was just under 1-to-1, which is pretty nice. I ended up getting 3 points off the stop loss, I think. Maybe a little bit less. It was pretty damn close. But I got the full TP all the way to 330 right before close, and then it bounced right up. Decent risk reward. Ideally, I should have had the stop loss at the high anyway, and we wouldn't have had any worry about getting stopped out, but it was pretty much right at that. Let me go over to where that stop was. It was 718 is where I put it, and it hit 715. So we got very, very close. And then it came crashing back down. The reason that we had that pretty nasty wick yesterday too during the IB was NVIDIA and China news. NVIDIA came out and said that they're going to remain partners with China. They're going to continue to sell chips to China. So that is the reason for that little nasty wick down. I ended up being up about 120, 140 on the position with that wick down. And then it came all the way back up. My trailing intraday drawdown went to like 12.10, which was kind of sucky to see. And then it came all the way back down. And I got out at, I think we got out around 1, maybe a little bit later. And then it ultimately broke it. So same thing for today. The only caveat for today is if we go over to market data, as you pointed out, Walk, sorry, not woke. We do have a whole bunch of news at 10. They are some delayed reports, but what the big one is today is that beige book. If that wasn't the only thing we have, I don't think we were supposed to get a time frame on it. Tariff ruling today. Let's see. And it's all coulds, so it's not like a definitive thing that we get the ruling today. Just saying that we have a good chance of getting it today. I know that most of the betting markets, 42 minutes ago, Donald Trump is in Washington today. We'll hear from the president at 2 p.m. ET when he takes part in signing ceremonial signing ceremony in the Oval Office. But it doesn't look like we have anything in terms of when it's supposed to come out. The court is set to release rulings at about 10 a.m. The court does not announce ahead of time which rulings is intended to issue. So we'll have to wait until 10 again today. Just keep that in mind. What we did have last Friday was the same exact thing, and you could kind of see, unfortunately, we're probably not going to get much for price action, mainly because everyone's going to be waiting for the ruling. If this ruling comes in against Trump's tariffs, then who knows how far we're going to drop. It's probably going to be pretty bad. But if it comes in favor, then we should have a pretty nice push up. I have no indication on which way it's going to go. I do know that betting markets are saying that it's probably not going to pass. It's like a 73% chance that it doesn't get approved or it doesn't get voted in favor. How's the road to 30K going? It's coming along. We are, I took one MGC long last night. Ended up having probably one of the best entries you could have, and I sold it for a whopping $50. Ended up missing another $300 move on one gold contract. Went all the way up to 46.48, so actually $400. That would have been my payout right there. But I am 350 away from the payout. The first set of payouts, which I'm having a little trouble with the contracts right now. If I want to take the 10K payout, or if I want to take the accounts and run them a little bit longer and get like a 20 or 30K. I do want to aim for the 30K payout. The reason I'm contemplating the 10K is because if it gets denied, which I don't know why it would. I don't think I've broken any rules with Apex, but I just see so many people online say that their payouts get denied for X reason. I'm sure that's mainly just people that haven't gotten payouts, or they've gotten annoyed with Apex because they were more of a gambling trader as opposed to a strategical trader. Does the trailing drawdown Apex stop above the buffer? Yes, it does. Yes. So after I make another $250, the trailing drawdown stops. Thank you, Perez. Thank you. I need to make another 240 to be exact. Well, actually, they're all over the place. One account I have to make another 300. One I have to make 220. Which is so sad because I would have had it last night if I just held that gold long all the way until 10:45, 11 o'clock. Stinks. Anywho, is Bob in here right now? He's not. I'll wait for him to get in before we cover the PPI trade. Same with the CPI one. I ended up only getting 28 points off of this morning. I rounded it up to 30. I lied. This was not on Apex again. I sized down on Tradeify because I wanted to see if I could catch more of a move like CPI did yesterday. And then ended up only getting a whopping $56 on the PPI candle. Which it is what it is. Jumped in late. Have you gone over your bias for MNQ today? So I don't really, I guess for open, we have a slightly bearish bias. We should go and fill some of that gap up. It's a 50-50 chance we go up. The reason that I don't have a bias set for today is because we have that Supreme Court ruling. Now, what I will do is if let's say we come to 10 o'clock and there's no ruling, they say we don't have a vote yet, then we'll go and just wait for the IB like we did on Friday. But as of right now, I don't think it really matters if we have a bearish or bullish bias in the open, because if that Supreme Court ruling comes in favor or denied, that's going to dictate what we do for the rest of the day. So right now we can't really find an indicator of what's going on. But if we were to take a look, if we go to the gap fill by size, edge fill updated today, by the way. Pretty cool to see this. Gap fill by size, we're in the third bracket on Qs. I think we're in the third bracket on second bracket on SPY. Once it loads, looks like it's being a little slower than it usually is. But it's all those updates rolling out. So we are looking at a 64% chance that this gap gets filled. So what I'd be looking for, that's the full gap, I believe. That's 50% of the gap, actually. So what we should be looking for is a move up to London 50. And finally, we're getting a realistic look at what London 50 should do. So small bullish bias into open, and then look for more downside. That's what I'd like to see. Fill 50% of the gap, which would be us moving up to like 624.18, 624.30, sweep over London 50 and then go down. But again, I don't really have, I'm not putting too much emphasis on a bias today because of that 10 a.m. ruling. I'm going to keep referring to that all day, or at least until 10. And then once we do come to 10, we'll go over to Walter Bloomberg or see someone posted on Twitter. If they don't have a ruling today, then we're going to just look for what priced it on Friday with no bias. News-wise, for PPI, we have not swept the Newsweek high yet. We swept the Newsweek low. We have not swept the high. That's that 8:30 red candle. So we want to see price come back up quite a bit. We almost went up and swept the Newsweek high from CPI yesterday and couldn't quite get there. Ideally, yesterday shouldn't have been as much of a sweat as it was. We should have had an entry. I should have been patient enough to get the entry at 50%. That would be our trade right there, 1-to-1. That was, I think, 18 points from 50%, maybe a little bit more. Might have been 20 points. Let's see, I still have it marked out on MES. So it was, 20 points on the dot from 50%. So it should have been a $100 trade, 200 with 2 MES. Three days of rest and no pullback yet. You can go and blame it all on the fact that we're stuck right in the middle of this trend. This pennant maybe it should have like another week in it at most. It comes to a point in 13 days. So like a week and a half worth of trading. I think that should be the end of the chop that we've been in. It's been since October actually. So it's been 4 months now. Going on 4 months of up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Once we get through that, we should be fine. What happens if the payout gets denied, close and start over, keep trading for 8 more days? So if the payout gets denied, as long as you didn't really break it, and this is, as far as I know, this is information I've gotten from everyone that I know that trades a 25K account. As long as you didn't break any rules, like max liquidation or hold a trade after 459, all you have to do for those 8 days is buy and sell 1 micro. It doesn't have to be $50 either. You just have to place a singular trade on that day. So there's no real risk to it getting denied. The reason I'm contemplating taking the 10K is because if it does get denied, then I'm going to be trading for another 8 days anyway, and I can get up to that 30K payout. If it doesn't get denied, then I get 10,000, and I just have to slowly make my way back up, get another payout. But for if it does get denied, all I have to do is go with one MNQ, one MES, buy and sell it within. I can do it instantly within 2 seconds, and then that's my trade for the day. I only have to do that for 8 days. So if it gets denied, there's not really any drawdown, or there's no downside to it. If the payout gets denied, you can trade another 8 days. You're on a solid track. Yeah, I'm not too. Either way, I should get paid for them. I don't see why not. Why I wouldn't. I don't think the accounts have dipped more than. I definitely haven't had a trade open that's been under 400, which is what their MEE rule is. And I haven't really sized. I think the most that I've gotten a position up to is 8 micros, and that was with MES. I already have the $50 for 5 days, Carlos. I can actually, let me pull it up on a separate window and then I'll move it over. Because I'm not really all that familiar with them. I have asked many questions throughout this whole process. I hate the two-step. Two-step authenticator. I hate it. But at least it's secure. Okay. Where do I go? PA charts. I think that's where I go. Okay, there we go. So I'm at, for these accounts, I'm at 8 trading days right now on them. And these have to get to 1,500 profit. What's going on, Ike? How you doing? What the heck was that? $5 tip. How'd you do that? Thank you. Is that my Starbucks for getting to 10K? So I think, yeah, I don't need to flip anymore. I'm at 8 trading days, and I know 7 of these trading days are at over $50. I was actually just asking Ike for help on that. Ike is the man. He is. So I know I don't have to worry about $50 days. I could, if I wanted to, I could just take like $20 a day for the next 30 days, and that would slowly get me to the payout. So yeah, I have all those at the brink. It does help me being on stream too, so I don't go and tilt and do something stupid, because that would just be embarrassing. And with micros, it would take a lot of work to go and blow these accounts. I think all the rules on Apex, people love and hate them. They keep you in line. Like if you know you're going to get denied for taking, you usually take 2 MES or 2 MNQ, and you all of a sudden go and take 2 full NQ contracts, you know you'll get denied for that. So there's no point in even sizing up that much. Thank you for the tip, Ike. I don't even know how you did that. Never seen a tip on here. How do you manage to stay disciplined with incremental gains for so long? It's the same stuff that I've been putting on Twitter for weeks now. Is there's no rush. So you're trading 20 accounts. It's not really incremental gains. $48. So I made that on one MGC contract last night. $48 on one account isn't very much. Times 20 accounts, that's $1,000 trade that I just made with. It had $50 of risk to it. I had a 5-point stop. Yes, I technically would have been down 1,000 if I was negative 50 on the day, but at the same time, it would take 30 of those trades in a row for me to lose these accounts. And on the upside to that, just trading the IB and making sure that it's a reasonable trade and being confident in the trade setup, it usually takes the same amount of time to get a payout as it would to blow the accounts. You find 25K accounts easier than 50K accounts? Absolutely, Rolo, absolutely. The main reason my trading strategy is using micros, so there's no reason for me to size up on a 50K, 100K, or 150K account. The other thing as well is that I think they get people with the 100 and 150K accounts because you think I'm going to be able to size up. I have more drawdown. I can do 2 NQ or 1 NQ with a reasonable stop loss. 150K accounts, for example, you have to make 9,000 in just the eval phase, which, yeah, if you're sized up, it works great. 9,000 is a lot of money to make, regardless of what your trading strategy is. If you're doing 15 NQ, yeah, it's not going to take you that long. If you're doing reasonable trading, that's not going to be emotional. 150K account is going to take you absolutely forever. And that's just to pass the account. And then you have to make another 9,000 before you can even get a payout from it. So go to the 25K accounts, trade a micro or two. No emotional connection to the trades, and then you just slowly build them like I have been. So this is technically day number 9 on these accounts. And I'm not worried about, hey, there's no reason for me to make 300 today. I'm 300 away from the payout, but I don't have to make 300. This has been 9 trading days, so 2 weeks on the funded account. And then I had the evals for 3 days. So in total, 12 trading days, almost 3 weeks. Even if I get one payout at the end of the month, that's still going to be a 10K month. Or if I'm going to get a 20K payout, it's going to be a 20K month or a 30K, so on and so forth. Does it automatically deny you trying to size up beyond the limit? I want to work towards multiple accounts once I'm ready. No, it doesn't. They look into you. So the only way that you get automatically denied is if you have a trade that breaks their MEE rule. I think it's max allocated equity. So if you can't have a trade that goes 30% above what your drawdown is. So if I have 1,500 in drawdown, 30% of that is $400. I can't have a trade go more than 400 red. And then the second one that will get you liquidated on their accounts is if you hold a trade past 4:59 p.m., which is an hour after close. So you shouldn't really have a trade open during that time. The Sim Farmer news trades the eval, but I agree. Getting to 9K with reasonable trades takes a while. Yeah, it takes way too long to get 9,000 on a 150K account. It's not worth it. All right, so into open, I know we also don't have an inside bar for today, where this is the first day in like 4 trading days that we're opening outside of previous day's range. So there's no draw on our high or low. I'm looking for a move up to like 624. That will be the gap fill stat. 64% chance that we go and fill it, fill half of that gap. And then I want to see down to 621. I don't think that we're going to get much for price action prior to 10 because we have that tariff ruling. We have that pending. Ike said, I've been denied a few times from Apex, but I always knew it was coming because I went and draw down over 30%. It's just on a single trade, right, Ike? I think you can... I think it's just a single trade, though, for the drawdown. Yeah. So I don't think I'll be denied for that. I haven't had a single trade go more than 400 red. I know that for a fact. I think the most I've been red on a single trade was yesterday, and that was like 210, maybe. That was on the MES one from yesterday. because it came. I had a pretty crappy entry on it, and then I added 2 on the way up as well. So I was negative 210, and I ended up getting out for 200 profit. But I know you. What's going on, James? How you doing? I know that for the Apex counts, you can have like as many losing trades as you want in a row, as long as it's not an MEE rule break, then you're fine. And that too. You're getting denied. You just have to trade for another 8 days. It's not a bad thing. You're leaning towards bearish today. What's going on, Simon? I did take the PPI trade. I took 1 MNQ. I didn't take it on Apex. I took it on Tradeify. And I took 1 because I was trying to catch more of the move, which I don't know why I did it differently than I did yesterday. I should have done 4, but it was only 28 points today, sadly. Funny enough, Ike was the one that actually taught me how to take that trade. Stop buy, stop sell, 15 points above and below. Your IB strat and sizing down really opened my eyes to the value of running multiple 25K accounts as opposed to a couple of whoppers like 150K accounts. A couple of whoppers. I was just talking to Oakley about this last night. I don't know if he's in here. He was trading on 100K account or a 50K account, and he took 2 gold contracts for a long last night. So pretty much the same entry that I had. He got out at, I think, 46.15, and he ended up making $1,200. On that 150K account, he made the same amount that I did, and he was risking 700 to it as well. He made the same amount as I did copy trading over 20 accounts, and my risk reward was $50 or $50. That was it. So there is a crazy amount of power that comes in copy trading. And if you're doing this on Top Step, yeah, you get 5 accounts, but to make 1,000 on 5 accounts, you have to do 250 as opposed to $50. Or like the day that we had yesterday with that IB trade, I ended up making 330, 335. So it was like a 6.6K day. To do that on Top Step, that's over 1,000 per account, which still, it's just sizing up 4 times, but still quite a bit. What's going on, Lonnie? How you doing? Again, I want to restate this. No bias into open. I was looking for a little retracement up. We are pending the tariff ruling. And it said, that little article I just saw said 10 a.m. this morning. Where is it? Reuters right here. The court is set to release rulings at about 10 a.m. Eastern time. So in the next 29 minutes, we should get price action pretty similar to what happened on Friday. So it's going to be pretty wicky into open. And we'd never take a trade in the first 15 minutes anyway. Just got to wait. How many of you guys in the stream ended up holding that full IB trade yesterday? Sean, I know I saw you. I think you held it all the way until 3 when it actually broke. Which is pretty funny. That's the downside to it, is that it takes so freaking long on some days. Like if I had said, I'm telling you guys, one of these times I'm going to say I'm going to stick in the stream until the IB breaks, this would have been my luck right here. Held it all the way until 3:30. Where was Icon, bro? He was on YouTube. I don't think he's here right now. He sent me a little $5 tip. What a guy. So probably the smart thing to do is just going to be wait until 10 today. At the very least, What happened with those? Can't post comments to some destinations. Oh, that's weird. Can't get comments on my X. At the very least, we get the IB trade today. But we're going to be just keep taking a look at what happened on Friday. This should be the first 30 minutes of market right here, where it's nasty wicks, which we've already gotten a pretty disgusting wick right there. It just came all the way back up to go green on that candle. So $2 wick to start the day. No rush to get into anything. You didn't hold. I think someone asked this on the stream. It might have been you, Bob. Maybe not. Someone asked what happens if it takes forever to break it. You're in the trade. When I enter the trade, or really when I enter any trade, I'm automatically expecting it to hit my loss. So as long as I'm comfortable with losing that amount, I'm okay with the trade playing out. The only reason I got a little upset with that trade yesterday because I missed trailing my stop down. We missed the IB low at 11.15 by 20 cents. So I was up $140, and then it came all the way back and I was red. And then my trailing drawdown went from 1,500 because I was up 140 all the way down. I think it peaked at like 11.80 or 12.10, which kind of sucked. And then it ended up playing out perfectly and came all the way back down. And I misplayed this one yesterday as well. I should have waited until 50%, but it still worked out. That was the full thing right there. And then the stop loss was 3 points from hitting. So it was like a 0.7. I think I logged it in the Discord. It ended up getting 0.57, which is okay. Still pretty good. All right, what we're doing for price, at least we have Qs and SPY lining up. Qs and SPY both just made their IB low and then the high first. Gotta love 100.5 minute candle, yeah. Yep. This is I'm just gonna keep referring to Friday because we're in the same exact frame or same exact position as we were Friday. Worried about what tariff is going to come out. So if we get denied on the tariffs, oh damn, we're all the way back up to 182 on MSTR. That's nice. If the tariffs get denied, we're probably going to retrace, I don't know what percentage of the move that we've made. The U.S. would be liable to repay all the tariffs that we've gotten back if they vote against Trump's tariffs today. So theoretically, we would probably go back down to 540 on Qs because the entire move up we had from June last year when the tariffs got finalized would be discontinued or disallowed. That's the scary part of what we're waiting for today. And the other thing that has helped me a lot, which it may not be as favored for people that like trading every day, not taking trades. Yes, I'm not going to take a winning trade, or I might miss out on a winning trade, but at the same time, I'm also not going to take a losing trade. And it's just going to prolong. There you go. 66. Took the London 50. What happened? Oh, we hit London 50? We did? I barely missed it. Good job, Steve. And Q hit it. I see. Not taking trades has helped a lot. Not getting as many trades, and that's another reason why I'm starting to like Tradeovate more, is that I have to put more effort in to take a trade. I can't just go on my phone and take it on Project X like I used to. I have to actually sit down and wait. London equilibrium. The London EQ. This is if this prints the same exact candle we had on Friday, that'd be kind of funny. Friday's candle was, let's see. So Friday's candle. And then bring this on over. It's looking pretty close. Not quite the same size. Friday was a little bit bigger, but it's pretty damn close. Also, Bob, welcome to your first valid London 50 of probably 3 weeks. This is ideally what you look for the London 50. I think honestly what helped is us closing outside or opening outside of previous day's range. So we got our move down. Trend is down. Look for a retest the London 50 and then down. That's how you usually play it. But this is the first time that we've actually had that play out or hit. It's pretty nice. Might be the same size that we get. It's gonna be close. It's just the red candle instead of the green one. Gold's getting that's weird too. Usually these inverse each other. But gold's down 8 points. We also have these 2 data points at 10. So if we don't get the ruling at 10, we will have a pretty volatile move anyway. Probably 0.25% off those 2. Wicked out and dumped another 70 points. That's okay. That's okay. Yesterday was, Steve, probably the first day that I've been a little scared of that trailing intraday drawdown. And that was my mistake for not being at my desk when the trade was open. Because that wick and then immediately going red was not nice. Not nice at all. We have 25.7 here that should catch us a little bit as well. Not really much else. If we close below London low, then we free fall to 616, 617. We just switched the IB stat as well on both SPY and Qs. They just made new lows right there. Give me that box back. 2 minutes, and all we have to do is wick down another 6 cents. That's the same exact size as the candle on Friday. It was damn perfect on the short. I cut early. 200. I don't know what you got on it. The Zinc model. How'd you get that indicator? Oh yeah. Nick something. Oh, that's cool. Interesting. Yeah, that's cool. That's 140 points on this from London 50. Holy smokes, 150, yeah. Jeez. I was off a little tiny bit on Qs, but not by much. Good to know. We are perfectly split bullish and bearish right now. So even though we're dumping pretty hard, we do have quite a few assets that are bullish. We have Bitcoin that is ripping, even with everything else falling as much as it is. Bitcoin is pushing. MSTR is at 183. About damn time we get upside on that thing. Only need it to go up another 50% and I'll be break even. All right, 46 seconds left. This green box means nothing, by the way. This is just trying to draw a comparison to Friday. So we should have pretty untapped downside or no support on the downside. What word am I going for here? Unrestricted. There we go. No, unrestricted. Should go to 617 on Qs. That's the trend line bottom for this pennant. Now, if this is a front run for tariffs being denied, that would be pretty impressive. And we have some inside traders on the Supreme Court. If not, then this is going to be a pretty nasty sweep prior to tariffs. We got another 15 minutes to go here. If you guys are itching to get a trade on this, or if you're just an animal like Steve and played the London 50 perfectly, not really worth to get anything right now. Just wait the 15 minutes. Not taking trades is harder than taking some. Man, Bitcoin is on crack right now. It's at 96,000. Just broke 96. Nice to see. So holding on for another 15 minutes. And if we get, we'll go over to Walter Bloomberg. I'll pull this up. You usually post it within a couple of minutes, wherever Walter Bloomberg might be. Walter Bloomberg. I have to open Twitter in a different tab. I just don't know what's going to pop up on there nowadays. Trump giving someone a middle finger is the first thing I see. All right, so we'll have to wait on this. I'll keep refreshing this at 10 until we get either the actual vote or we'll see no vote, no decision. And that's expected at 10 with these two data points. The big one today is going to be 2. We didn't really have a move at 2 a.m. yesterday, I don't think. At 2 p.m., sorry. We had a little move down at 2. The beige book is one of the leading indicators for what the Fed does for rate cuts. And we don't have the FOMC meeting until next week. The week after. I think we're supposed to have it next week. It might just not be on here. Oh, we have Martin Luther King Day. Is the market closed for MLK Day? Market might be closed. Yes, it is. 26. So next Monday, the market's closed. They have a 4-day week. I always thought it was a half day for that. Good to know. So 4-day trading week next week, everyone. No market on Monday. Should still have FOMC. Maybe it will be all the way at the end of. Man, that's weird. End of January. Let's see. I want to get that picture from it. That's pretty funny. I want to get that off my screen though. All right, another 11 minutes to go. Right now, we will be targeting the IB low, form the IB high first into the IB low. So ideally, we get a move up to 50%, which is where we are right now in SPY, and then down. Same thing on Qs, which will be testing London low and then down. 617 should be a good price target. All this is going to switch at 10, depending on if we get that news release or not. If we do, sayonara to any of these price targets and levels that we're taking a look at. If we don't, then probably going to reverse like we did on Friday, because PPI actually came in decently cool. Sorry. I'm making a good comeback on MSTR. I'm only down 44%. Ooh, what's Frenchie getting on gold? He just got back from Japan. New iOS update. Great. So he said he's looking for longs. See, this is a little odd to me as well. Typically, we have these two inversing each other, MNQ and gold, and MES too, as this is a hedge position. Commodities always have been. And it was very apparent overnight, but now that they're both dropping, that's pretty weird, especially prior to that news release. This might... I'm going to put a bold prediction out. If we get the Supreme Court ruling today, this is going to be a liquidity sweep down, and then we're going to shoot up. I think they're going to vote in favor of it, especially because a lot of people would be caught offsides with all the betting market saying it's like a 73% chance they deny it, if not higher. Morning, Mark. How you doing? Nezra, how you doing? Morning, all. What's going on? NQ is an outside day, didn't touch previous day's low, and didn't even touch 25% of the gap. So if there's an IB that forms for short, I won't take it. Very good. Those are all things I would miss. I say they vote in favor. I agree. If they do not vote in favor of it, our market is toast. Market's screwed. What's good, though, is if they don't vote in favor, a lot of people are going to dump their money. Gold won't even get upside from it because gold profited off of tariffs, mainly because of China. So gold would also go down. MNQ would go down. MES would go down, obviously. Everything would go down. The only thing that would go up is Bitcoin because it's not centralized and it wouldn't be impacted by the tariffs. I think Bitcoin is one of the few things that was negatively impacted by tariffs because everyone was just dumping their money into the U.S. stock market, making new all-time highs. So it's a good start. Another 7 minutes to go. I don't think they're going to be very timely on it. They might. I don't think they can. Thank you. Thank you. I didn't want that on the screen anymore. Fed Paulson sees further rate cuts later this year. Forecast met. These are all just Paulson quotes. We don't talk about Bruno or his brothers. Oh, man. Walter Bloomberg. Also, apparently Trump has other tariff options. Yeah, but then those would take a long time to be put in place, same as the ones that were put in place earlier this year. Sorry, do you mean in favor of tariffs or in favor of tariff equals illegal? I think that they vote in favor of him being able to instate tariffs. I don't think that they're going to come out and deny it. Mopsy, Mr. Zinc, have been inspiring 1-2 MQ lots, have been a real game changer. Good, I'm glad. Also, just a little public service announcement. Please do not go and trade silver. Don't get sucked into the people that are posting like 25K profits off of 3 silver contracts. There's a reason that the CME keeps raising the margin requirement on it. Silver is not meant to be trading at $80. Definitely shouldn't have sold MSTX for break even. I should have 6 months ago. 190? What the? Woo. Nice. I'm up a cool 5,500 on those shares for today. Still got a long way to go to break even, but not silver's at 90. So it shows you how much I keep up with it. Yeah, don't fall into the silver trap. I know so that's another reason I think that they vote in favor of it, because everyone is putting so much pressure on the betting markets, poly market and whatever else, Kalshi, and all the betting markets are saying there's a 73% chance that we'd get a vote against tariffs. So everyone is looking for downside. No one's expecting this vote to pass in favor of Trump. And if that many people get caught off sides, there's going to be a lot of money that comes back into the market. The worrying thing is that Bitcoin is ripping right now, while we have everything that is supposed to be countering each other going in the same direction. And the main thing is going to be the fact that gold and equities are falling together. Still holding bull? Yes, I am. Sadly. That one I'm not too worried about. The thesis behind bull is still there, and they have $8 billion in cash. Their market cap's only $4 billion, so at the very least, they should be trading at 16 a share once sentiment flips a little bit. Just got here. The MES short on IB50 was beautiful. A couple more, I'll get a payout. There you go, Chris. Quick question: with the 20 accounts on Apex, how much of a buffer are you aiming for? I just need to make another 400, and then I can take that payout. I gotta think about what I want to do with it. I think it would be greedy to try and ride it too much. Prop firms are smart that they don't let you trade SIL and only SI. Yeah, because they want you to fly through the evals and the funded accounts. There's no reason to be trading silver with the way it's moving. One silver contract, 20 cents is $1,000. Want to see a disappearing act, trade silver, poof, account gone. And that was probably when it was trading at 70, wasn't it? Or even like 60. Yeah, it's disgusting. I traded it once on my Tradeify accounts, and that was when it was trading at 72. I took a long, and I put my phone down for maybe 15 seconds and picked it back up, and I was up $1,000. And I said, not doing that again. And that was the only time that I've traded silver. But there's no people are getting sucked into the fact that on social media everyone's posting $25,000, $30,000 profit days on Top Step or Alpha or whatever firm they're using. And yeah, it works if you get a directional entry and you get really, really lucky on where you enter. Because even one silver contract, if you get an entry like, let's say Monday, December 29th, any of these wicks blow your account. And they're only 30-cent wicks. I mean, this one was 40 cents. Your account's gone twice right there. But there's a reason that the CME is not allowing just any old simpleton to go and trade silver. You need $88,000 to trade a single contract now. It's called speculation for a reason. So there's no reason that prop firms should still be letting you trade 5 contracts of silver. I mean, a 50K account with Top Step or whatever firm you're using, a 50K account isn't even enough to trade one silver contract now. That was a teleportation on that candle. It's kind of funny. That was, yeah, we got 617 already. But that was a dollar wick, $1.20 wick down in maybe 2 seconds. Let's see what Walter Bloomberg says. Yeah, it could be. It doesn't look like we've gotten anything yet. I mean, the price action is saying that we have a ruling against it. What time is the Supreme Court ruling? It's supposed to be right now at 10. Can't buy a pullback today, though, sadly. Don't beat yourself up too much, Steve. Sorry you missed this expansion down, but it's okay. You still made $1,000 in the 20 accounts. Oh, it's supposed to be right now. We just had U.S. home sales coming in. I can't imagine that's what that big of a wick was off. Looks like they came in 5.1% above, which is good. This means that mortgage rates should be coming down and home prices should also be coming down. Existing home sales rose 5.1%. Previous month was 3.3%. That's good for supply. Very good for supply. Just got a $5 wick on MSTR. I don't see anything yet. Trump tariffs, Supreme Court ruling, maybe. We don't have anything yet. If we don't, this is exactly what happened on Friday, by the way, everyone. If we don't end up getting, if they come out and say we're not releasing it today, this is the same exact wick that we put down on Friday. And this one was actually $3. This one a lot larger of a wick than what we're looking at right now. And this came out as they said that we're not getting a ruling today. And then we went from 619 all the way up to 625 in like 20 minutes. No reason to be taking a trade during this. What we can do is just wait for the IB. We'll wait for a retracement like we did yesterday. But if we don't end up taking a trade today, so be it. Ruling maybe what's done is done, but president can't do it in the future. Yeah, obviously none of us know. We don't know what those big wigs are saying in there. I will say that I like the fact that this candle doesn't have a wick on top of it, and we already hit the downside target at 617. That was our next support level. So now that we're at 617, we should have some draw to the upside. Same thing as yesterday, though. Trend's very clearly down, so just wait for a pop to get into and then short it. But right now, we don't have any updates. Doesn't look like. We should probably sit right here. And this is what I was referring to for the betting markets. These are all saying like 22.9% chance that the Supreme Court rules in favor of Trump's tariffs. They're all expecting mass downside. What's going on, Semperfi? How you doing? Mortgages above 6% now more common than ultra low rates. For the first time, mortgages above 6% outnumber those below 3%. Interesting. No trade so far. How's everyone doing? 320, Roland. 320. That's my guess for you today. I think you had a good day with this downside. Only missed 240 points. It's okay. 220? That's what I said. You guys all heard me say 220, right? Not 320? Another little tidbit is anytime we don't have a wick on top of a candle like this, it usually draws that direction of the candle and puts in a wick and then continues or reverses. That's why I was looking for a little pop. We don't have any release on the news yet. So I think that was a little premature on the wick. And we should, and there's the wick taken out on the top of that candle. We should right here anyway. How close are you to a payout, Roland? Waiting on the IB to see how my auto IB plays out. I'm doing the same. I'm waiting to see if they say that we're actually getting a Supreme Court ruling or not. If not, then we're going to inverse all this move like we did on Friday, and it will buy us a little more time. Because if they don't release the ruling today, then it's going to be next Monday, which next Monday's closed, so it's going to be next Tuesday or Wednesday, actually. So it buys us, essentially just buys us another week of upside. Just put in a wick on the top of that candle, so it's not as strong to the downside now. Not super inclined to take a play today, unless we get a confirmation that we're not getting the release. They have until June to rule on tariffs, so we might be doing this every week. I hope not. I request 6K, but I messed up. I cannot put a trade. When I put in a request, forgot about that. I might need to trade another 8 days. Oh, shoot. Yeah, that's okay. Makes it so you can request more at the end of those 8 days. You probably knew this already, Roland, but I just found this out is for those 8 trading days, since you already have your 5 $50 days, you just have to scalp one MES or MNQ for 8 days. Literally just placing a trade. I thought it had to be $50 days. I had no idea. Huh? No, it doesn't need to be 50, Steve. If you get denied on the payout, you just need to take 8 trades for 8 days. That's what Ike told me this morning or yesterday. What's going on, Taryn? How you doing? But since you already had the 5 winning days in the first cycle, don't you only need 8 for the second one? I didn't think you needed the $50 ones. I do really like that on Apex. Every account size is just $50. I flip, like you say. Yeah, so even if I get denied, I'm not too worried. I'm gonna just look up Supreme Court and see if that does something. All right, Supreme Court just released a ruling that was not on tariff, so they're probably not going to be releasing that today. If they release something else but not on tariffs, it's probably going to be another. Yeah, doesn't look like we're going to get anything. And what's going on, Randy? How you doing? Oh, sorry. My bad, Steve. You were right. So it's just 3 days that you have to flip it. Never mind. I'll hush up. How close are you to your payout, Randy? I think the last time we talked, you said you had 2,400, so you're probably a couple hundred off. I don't know how big of a buffer you want to build, though. You're at 2,900 right now. What are you aiming for? I don't think we're getting anything today, ladies and gentlemen. You're aiming for 4,200. No decision on Trump's this is Grok just replying to someone. No decision on Trump's tariffs from the Supreme Court today. The opinions released were on other cases. To request 2K on each and leave 2,200 in drawdown. I get you. That's not bad. I'll follow suit. What was that wick right back up? Huh. Did we get something? That was pretty weird. That was like a $1.40 teleport in a minute. We just went from 618.01 to 619.85. No ruling again today. Is that what just got released? See, this is Eddie. You're in here. This is what I saw. Everyone referring to it as opinions, which is why I didn't think it was going to be a ruling. Everyone was saying opinions on. Supreme Court declines to rule on Trump's tariffs on Wednesday. So we should inverse most of this move right back up. I'm going to wait. I'm going to make sure to wait the additional 17 minutes for the IB. Right now would be a decent entry to go short, but if they're not releasing a ruling today, very similar to what we did on Friday, we should inverse most of this downside that we just made. I have two 50K funded, one at 49,950 and one at 49,350. Gonna start another round of 25Ks. Hope I'm gonna follow your rules without oversizing. As long as you stay disciplined enough. So we should probably not gonna take an IB short anytime soon. Right now, we should make a move all the way up to pretty much where we opened. I think the whole reason that we had downside is because of the. Yeah, I'm not planning on shorting this IB. Might not even end up touching today. So we'll just stick with the 50 that we made last night. We'll see. But I do think we're going to see this type of price action again from Friday. Still have another 15 minutes, so we'll see. But right now, if we go and make a new IB high on SPY and don't make one on Qs, then definitely not taking anything. But I think that we're probably going to inverse most of this. We just made an inversion on the 5 minute as well. Pretty massive one. Right there. And another reason I expected that to be a fake was there was no wick on the top of that 10 a.m. candle. It's definitely a 10 a.m. reversal. You stud. Make sure you secure it relatively soon. Oh, this is a trade on the funded? Definitely secure it. Don't get too greedy with that. It's 50 points, man. Not in this environment. It's Bitcoin at 97,000. That thing is pushing. Wow, Mara's all the way down at $11 a share. That is such a crappy stock. Riot's at 17. This one's not really doing that bad. Man, if we just held that from 11, we'd be A-okay right now. So no ruling on tariffs today. Huh. We got, at the very least, we have 7 minutes until we can take a trade on the IB. I do think that we're going to go and take a new high on SPY. I don't think we're going to get quite up there on Qs, though. And this is also a very large range, $6 range, so about 260 points-ish. Let's see, we'll draw it out on Qs. Let's see. So we're right at 50% right now. It's going to be 25,792 all the way down to 25,530. So 260 points on the dot. 130 point IB. And SPY will be about the same size in comparison anyway. When Frenchie get in. We had shorts. Definitely not going to take anything if we go up to 691.70 on SPY. What we could do is if we get up to like 691.50, we could take one MES short. And then if it breaks the high, so be it. We're going to be risking like 5 points maybe. Probably even less. If it breaks the low, then we have like a 20 to 1 risk reward. Or 1 to 20 instead of backwards. Where's Edgeful here? Still sitting smack dab in the middle on bearish, bullish, neutral for the screener on Edgeful. But right now for the IB by rejection, QQQ, IB by rejection for a Wednesday. We are looking at both of them are in line. Actually, this one's saying that we should get a loss on the IB for today. This is over 13% of what the average, or over 11% of what the average is. So we might come down. I think what I'm going to do for taking a trade is I will, if we get up to like, so the IB high on MES is at 6979. If we get up to 6976, we'll take a short there and have like a 3 to 4 point loss, stop loss. It's holding the bias right now. Do I only trade the IB? No, I could have taken, I don't trade the first 15-minute candle, so I wouldn't have taken this today. London 50, we just haven't really had many reactions. I should have taken a London 50 short yesterday. I did not. That one was a miss on my part, but everything else, there's just not really much of a reason to take another setup for today. I think anyway. If we take a trade on MES, it's going to be like a right at 50% or right where we are right now. It'd be like a 12-point risk reward, 1-to-1. We are slightly over the midpoint, so we could definitely take shorts. Another reason I don't really want to target to the IB low is I don't think that was an actual wick that we put in. I do think that we're going to probably put in a stop on the IB today, so no trade on my part. The reason being no wick on that 5-minute candle. It opened, and within the first like 3 seconds, we made in that low at 68770 on both SPY and Qs. Go in the 1 minute, you can see a little bit better. So as soon as we opened 10 a.m., it just dumped, hit that level, and then immediately rebounded. So I don't think that's all that accurate of an IB low for us to target. Especially with no ruling today, we should retrace most of this. And we have a near perfect example from last week of what happened when they didn't come out with the ruling. And that was on Friday. Granted, Friday was NFP, but you get the point. We are recovering most of this downside right now. It's still in line for data. It's just not ideal. It's not a good setup, I think. Not A+. You want a long to the IBI. Played the run up on that 1100 past another eval. There you go. Seems like you're doing better now that you're not targeting a specific amount on the day. Wall dive. Another reason this was kind of funny is gold was also going, and it still is right now. Gold and SPY are going in the same direction. Isn't supposed to happen. Gold's usually inversing whatever we're doing on SPY. Silver's at 92. That is ridiculous. Please do not trade silver. Don't get sucked into it. Orb might have worked. You're talking about the 15-minute one. It probably would have been maybe. We didn't close underneath it on the following candle, and then when we did close, we got that immediate wick down. So it might have been, I don't know, like a 40-point win. That Supreme Court ruling really put a wrench in the works for today. Still targeting the IB low statistically. If it goes and hits, it goes and hits, and whatever. It's from the midpoint right now, it's 130 points to the downside. MES would definitely be the more reasonable one to take. We're also to that IB low, it's a 1.3% drop. I'm just trying to look at it from both sides right now. The IB low is also at that trend line support. So I don't know if we'll get a double retest of that today. This is a perfect trend line bottom running up. Trend line top's not really all that pretty, but the one on the bottom, you guys can see how nice and pretty that is. Go and put it right there. Make sure we get all the wicks. And that's our pennant that we're in. So at most, we have until January 27th to stay within this trend. And then usually once these break, you see something like a fake out and then up, or fake out to the upside. Really, it'd be 20 points. So $100 risk reward on MES right now. But it's not as A+ as it was for the previous days. I don't like that wick to the downside. I still think the best play is going to be not, you wouldn't want to target the high because that's inversing the data. But I do think if it gets up to like 75 or 80%, that would be a better entry than taking it right now. Just in case this is a fake out. Then you're only risking $10, $25. Not risking the full 100. Then your reward's also 175 as opposed to 100. Due to poor IB high that was formed, to me this IB is a trap on both ES and NQ. I also don't like that we didn't go and fulfill that gap fill stat, because if I go down to gap fill by size, QQQ, and then we customize it down to 25%, because we filled 23% of that gap. It's probably still going to work out, and then I'm just going to sit here and miss the play, but I'm not too upset about that. So for that third gap, it had a pretty much 90% chance of filling 25%. We only got up to 23. Bias is definitely short, though. Screener's probably bearish. Oh, it's still neutral. 17, 17, 67. It's still working out. That's a 20-point drop right there on MES. Q is going to go to the low, too. Tricky day. How do you manage with Apex rules? Do you even get paid? I got scammed years ago and didn't go back. I haven't gotten a payout from Apex yet. It's my first run to it. If it still validates the IB, then it just goes to show that it's still a really mechanical entry. This one would have been a ideal short as well, because that was plenty of time to front run it. This was, let's see, you got an entry on that body close. Risk rewards at 3, just about. It's gonna go right to the low right now too. That's a mess up on my part today. First payout with Apex, they emailed me to deny me the payout and tell me how I made, and tell them how I made the money. Only firm I've had issues with. Well, hopefully they don't do that to me. No trades for me so far today. Maybe if we get a retracement up to 50, I'll try one. It's looking like I would have missed it so far. Tricky day. Stupid Supreme Court ruling. Would have been a really nice entry for probably, who knows what it would have been in MNQ. Perfect retest of 50% too. 130 points is the range, so $260 trade if it goes and takes the IB low from here. What I miss? Nothing. You missed me not taking the trade. If we can get lucky enough to get a retracement up, I'll try it, because it does seem like it wants to go to that downside. I just wasn't buying it, which is okay. Just be another day. I'll blame Steve today. Bob's been getting too much grief. It's all Steve's fault. Getting a little wick up. Be gracious enough to go and hit 50%, and I'll get in. I took 5 MES short from 69.54. There you go. You're up $100 right now. Or 200, I mean. 250. 200. Just checking to be short today. I should have been. I didn't take it, Freedom. I should have been short, though. The Supreme Court thing kind of messed with me a little bit. So I didn't think we were going to go and take that low because of how fast the wick was formed. Q's is holding up a little bit better than the SPY is, but I didn't think we were going to go and take that low, 617.30. It's already done and over with. It was at 10 and they ended up doing nothing. No opinion on the matter today. No ruling on the matter. That's a retest of actually just filled the fair value gap, so never mind. We could still take it on MNQ, and this would be a 70-point reward from where it is right now, and then we could put a 70-point stop on. But learning my lesson from yesterday is probably better off not to take anything. Edgeful playing up. Yeah, they updated their thing today, so it's just going to take a little bit for the first time running through the reports. Once you get through reloading all your reports, it should go back to how fast it was. Everything's loading instantly for me now. I just had to go and cycle through for the first time. I do kind of like a short right now, but it's not going to be that good of a risk reward. Target would be down to the low, and then you could put the stop 1-to-1 on it. So could try something like that. You need that 50, really? Yeah. I mean, I should have taken it going down to the 5-minute just to show what it did. I should have taken it right here on MES. I just wasn't buying the downside, and that's the human emotion that goes in with trading. It's my mistake for not trusting it completely today. We're back. My power flickered off. We're back up and running. Phew. Sorry about that. Oopsie. My bad, everyone. What's going on, KP? How you doing? I put that isn't straddling not allowed under Apex rules, or am I mistaken? Hedging's not allowed. I think straddling's okay. Strangling, I mean. I didn't put a hedge or a straddle in. I just put the order in this morning. I haven't done it on Edgeful yet. Not Edgeful. I haven't done it on Apex yet. But for PPI this morning, the play, now that you're in here, Bob, I'll show you this example of how to do it. So you're sitting here right, and you have the time up here in the top left. I sit right here and just do this. So watching price right up until that PPI, I like to do 15 seconds before. And then I go, so it was at 25.8, you go to 15 points over. And I do buy a 20 stop, and I went to 15 points under, which was right there. And I do sell 20 stop. So that's the strangle that I put in. And then with the directional news move, it either goes up, hits your buy, and then continues to go. If it wicks either direction, so let's say it fills me for the buy, my risk is only going to be 30 points because it's a 15-point spread. There might be slippage with it, so I might lose a little bit more than 30 points, but with 1 MNQ, it's really not that bad. So we're looking, still not really that interested in taking it today, but it definitely does look like it's going to play out. We could take 1 MES or 1 MNQ. We're bouncing out 25.6 right now, which is kind of silly. Should be back on the stream for everyone. I think I'm still live. Yeah, we're good. Sorry about that little dip. There we go. Everyone's back up. So if we get to 50%, I might try it on MNQ. I'm not sure. This is looking nasty right now. What's going on, Frenchie? How you doing? MES. If we enter now, we do the same exact thing that we did yesterday. It might be better just not to take anything. Is the feed back up for everyone viewing on YouTube and Twitter and Facebook or wherever else you might be joining on? It should be up. Good, awesome. So if we took it now, our reward would be down 70 points. Just don't really know what to put the risk at. I put a limit in at 50. Let's see if it hits. 25.6 I don't think is going to hold if we are going to target the low. Spy's got a pretty nasty wick on the 5 as well. I probably won't risk it today. Ideally, if you did enter right now, I just slap a 1-to-1 on it. So right there, stop loss would be pretty much right at the 50, which wouldn't be that good of a strategic entry anyway. But it definitely looks like it's going to go push down. A little regretful that I didn't take the entry on SPY when it was up at 691, just about. It is what it is. Only thing that we'll miss is potential profit, but at the same time, where you would also miss a potential loss. You can look at it both ways. Very glad you didn't long. Let me ask you this, Steve. Are you more inclined to take a trade because you missed out on how much you could have gained on that first candle? Is that why you want to kind of take another one? Pull that trigger, Zinc. 150 points right there. No, just wanted the IB trade. Good. I still get stuck up in that every now and then. When I take a trade and then it kind of screws you out of the position by a quick stop loss. IB just got taken on SPY, by the way, by 1 cent. 687.66, previous low 687.67. IB is done on SPY. That was stupid of me. Yeah, well, I should have at least taken on the Qs. IB worked today. It did. It did. Right at 1023 as well. I was right at 50%. 1025 is at 50%, so that would have been a perfect 1-to-1 entry right there. 620.37. That's a 130 point reward to the downside. What's the win rate for the IB stat? I think I've gotten it up to, I want to say 80 plus. I think I've gotten it up to 80%. Something that's helped significantly. So the IB by itself is about a 73% win rate. It's the IB by rejection on any given weekday. I think we can get it up to 80% because the days that it does lose on MNQ are the days that SPY and Qs don't line up with each other. So if QQQ is targeting the IB low, but SPY is targeting the IB high, that prevents us from getting in the trade. So it's not a loss that we would take, and that bumps the win rate up. So it says it's about a 74, 75% win rate, which that alone is really good. And there's the IB low and Qs. I should have taken the entry at 25,616. Definitely could have taken it there. I don't think we would have been stopped out if I even put like a 25 point risk in. Damn it. So if I had entered at, I think I would have been like 616. So I would have put a 20 point-ish stop in on one, 25 points maybe. Wouldn't have gotten stopped out and would have taken the full 70 point drop. Oh, well, that's on me today. Didn't pull the trigger. Anyone happen to take the IB low? I think the IB algo probably works perfectly. You got it, Bear? Nice. What'd you end up getting for a return? Did you front run it? 200? There you go. There you go, Marshall. IB remains goated. There's no entry on for me today. Sad, sad, sad. For IB, how often do you think the setup happens in a month? Happens 96% of the time. It was all the way up to 80%, not 80, 98%. SPY would have been the much better yield today. Even with all the trash I was talking about it yesterday, Steve. Would have been much better. No trade yesterday to be scared. We don't trade gold for the IB. That's a no-go. Gold's on Wednesdays, gold is a 50-50 chance if it goes to the top or bottom. We're almost at yearly open. I didn't even take a look at that. Well, that would have been a very good IB today, too. Yeah, I didn't take it. That was silly of me. At least we got that gold trade last night, so I'm still at 50, but no additional trades after this either. Trend, stupid. Trend was down. IB was pointing down. We would have gotten a really good risk-reward entry on that. I mean, even this one at 10.25, it was at 50% of the IB on the dot. There you go, Steve. You beat me by $20. 360 on the funded. There you go, Mikey. Like, does the setup happen 18 of those 20 days? Yeah, it does. The IB itself, what we're basing it off of is this. So it happens 96% of the time. Only 3.9%, 5 out of 128 days, the IB never broke. So if it breaks every day, we just need to figure out how to get the direction of the break. And this week has actually been, other than Monday, Monday had a decent retracement. I will add that in. Monday had about a 35% retracement, so that one still offered an entry. Just didn't pony up to take it. Yesterday was perfect on ES, not really on MNQ. Today was perfect on both MNQ and ES. Is he reading the chat here too? Yeah, I am. Stefan. Do you ever think of playing options for the IB setup? You could set a risk. No. The reason I don't trade options for the IB is because options, yesterday is a great example. It took all the way to 330 for SPY to break the IB. So if we're in options with theta decay on it, that's 4 hours of decay. Even though it went and hit the full TP, we're not really going to get that good of a reward because it decayed for 4 hours. Later in the week, the worse it is. Oh, man. Oh, well. No harm, no foul. Just end up missing some reward. Why don't you enter 15-minute close at 4:30? 16:30? I should have. It's okay. I got break even on that trade. That would have made me 4K today. The gold shorts from pre-market. Is that the one you're talking about? Model printed perfectly today. I just let the human emotions creep in. So nothing for me today. Not going to be taking a trade into the afternoon either. Just going to be ending the day at 48 from that one gold long that we had last night. Why 25K and not the 50K? The potential for a reward on the 25Ks is a lot better than the 50Ks. You don't have to make nearly as much. And since we're only trading micros, there's no sense in us sizing up to a 50K account. So for us to get a trade, a payout on the 25K accounts, we only need to make 2,700 total. Apex is a little bit more. We need to make 3,000 total, or 3,100. For the 25Ks on Lucid, to get a payout, you only need to make 2,600. To get the max payout, you need to make 3,100. Good day. Take the win. Go about the day. Yeah, JB, you could do debit spreads. Absolutely. So this was the ideal entry. Would have been right. I'll go down to 3 minute for this. Make it even better. So you can see right at 10:27. That was 3 minutes before the IB closed. We were right at 50%. That should have been the trade itself right there. So entry was right at 10:27, and that trade was maybe 20 minutes, 21 minutes. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 21 minutes for it to go and hit the IB low, and that was 130 points. Same thing for SPY. SPY was actually even better because you could have gotten the front run entry all the way up at 690, massively decreasing your risk, but we ended up not taking this either. And the IB low taken stop would have been IB high. This one only took 15 minutes to go and take the IB low. So 2 perfect setups today that I did not take. Tradify only asked for 1,500. There you go, even better. That's on the only thing I don't like about that KP for Tradify is that you have to get the Lightning funded for the 25K. They don't have any other options for it for the 25Ks, which kind of stinks. Do you always take 50% entries? Yes. Well, no. I lied. Yesterday I took it a little early. I took it at like 70%. Sorry, 40%. I don't know why I said 70. It's going to eat me up today. That's okay. So the ROI for the first payout's lower. Yeah. I think instant fundeds are also kind of a scam. With most of the accounts just having 1 to 4 days to pass, if you can't pass an eval, there's no reason for you to go and get an instant funded because nothing's going to change. No other trades. If you guys are focusing on gold for the IB, I will show you this real quick. Gold for a Wednesday on the IB is a quite literal 50-50-50 on all sides. So it is rolling the dice for which side it's going to break. Up, down, up, down. How do you sit in front of the screen and not take trades? I take like 3 to 4 trades in 3 to 4 hours. You take only 1 trade in 4 hours. How do I control the urge? If you want to be able to get payouts, you need to be able to not trade. That's my tip. At least we have 2 more days this week. Yeah. I mean, you guys can you can take the trade without me too. I'm not trying to cope with me missing it today. I am disappointed by that. But this is something that I think is easy enough that you guys can also go and take it without me being present. Not saying that is a bad thing whatsoever. I am upset with myself for not taking this because this is a perfect representation of what the strategy is supposed to be. But anyway, back to your question, Rag. If you guys want to be able to get payouts, you need to be able to not trade. So you need to be able to sit here and not take a trade. Sucks that I just missed it. Sucks that I missed the shorts right at open. I didn't call. You don't need to call every single move that happens. I'm going to end my day off at 48. No more trades for me today. I just had one MGC long, and this is another thing that ate me up last night too. I took the gold long right here with a trend break. So just simple as drawing this line in. We had a trend line break, and we had a retest of trend with a pretty good entry right at 4,600. Did I catch the entire 40-point move up? No, I caught 5 points for $50. That was it. So you don't need to catch the whole move. Kind of sucks mentally not catching it. But something really bad that you guys can, and this is what I was asking Steve this morning, is when you miss a trade. So when you're in a trade, let's say I took shorts at London 50 this morning, just like Steve, and I made maybe 30 points. So $60, great, I'm happy. This is the best thing ever. And then I go and watch it drop another 240 points. And I'm counting that as me mentally taking a loss on the position because I didn't catch the entire 240 points. I would have been up X amount. I could have been up this much. Now I'm in a distraught state, so I want to keep trading and try to make money that I never made in the first place. So it's very difficult for me to not, everyone, it's very difficult for you to take a miss on a strategy that you know works. And then now I'm going to go and take lesser setups because I want to make what I missed. So there's no reason for me to sit here and try to take trades that aren't going to benefit me for a risk reward factor or have a positive risk reward or have a nice setup. So it is what it is. I missed it today. On to tomorrow. No harm, no foul. And then once more, for everyone asking about gold, do not trade gold for the IB on a Wednesday, especially. It's a 50-50 all around. Whether or not the high was formed first or the low, we have a 50-50 chance of going up or down. So we being right at 50% of the IB right now too. There's no reason, there's no validation for targeting upside or downside. And Morgan Edgeful already automated the IB trade. So it's an Edgeful algo that's on there if you guys are interested in taking it. Great point there, KP. It is extremely easy to delete everything you worked for. Yes, it is. It's very easy to delete everything you worked for. It takes a lot of discipline to not take extra trades because you get in a bad emotional state, like not coping at all. I am very upset that I missed that IB trade because that would have put me maybe $50 away from the payout. I would have made 260 on that. I'd be up 310 today. And the worst part is that entry at 25,662 had 20 points in drawdown. So that would have been as perfect as it gets for the IB. 130-point reward, had 20 points in drawdown. And it went straight to the IB in 15 minutes. And that's from me letting the emotional side, the human emotions, creep into a mechanical strategy. Somewhat mechanical strategy. Oh, it sucks. Anywho, that is what it is. Now what I'm going to do is I'll work on some YouTube videos. Probably going to play some video games. Take the dogs for a walk. Anything to keep me from looking at the charts and get greedy and try to take another set of trades when I know that they probably won't work out in my favor. So the hardest button to click, make sure it's also what I do 10 times on each chart before I go off. Exit at market and cancel all, and then just to follow it up, exit all positions and cancel all. So I have no working orders, and then I click exit. Tuning in now, beautiful delivery from 50% of the IB. Sadly, way too early. It wasn't actually too early today. That's the worst part. 10:23 is my time frame for taking the IB trade, and this happened at 10:27. I was at 50%. It was as perfect as it gets, and I fumbled it. It's okay. All right, if you guys enjoyed the stream, thank you for tagging along. Drop a like, follow, whatever you want. Thanks for sharing all your Asia trades. Yeah, I'm gonna try to do better about taking the ones or alerting the ones that I take during Asia. I did take. I don't know how many of you may have gotten into those MGC longs last night. I thought that was a pretty damn good entry. You almost did. Oh yeah, Replicanto screwed up yesterday. What'd they do? That's why I'm spooked to go and take Replicanto or use Replicanto. No, it just missed 2 accounts. It's not too bad. Sometimes orders didn't fill. Yeah. It is what it is. Low risk setup. I'm trying on gold. 23 risks for 199 reward. Good luck to you. It's a 50-50 right now. I would probably lean towards upside on it because it already filled the gap that it formed with that wick all the way down to 422. Didn't fill the entire gap, but it filled enough of it that it can validate a move to the upside. All right, I'll see you guys tomorrow. That'll do it for the stream today. Any questions, reach out, as always. Nothing like running steel and watching the charts, right, guys? All right, obviously no trade today. Is what it is. See you guys tomorrow.